Hello. I'm doing pretty good. Just having a good day so far. Ready to actually play some Warframe again.
It seems like my mic was muted. But guys, welcome back to another Warframe Fan Channel Spotlight. Today featuring the amazing Slivarito. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be spotlighting again. We have a ton of amazing people in our Warframe community, and this series right here is dedicated to showcasing them and talking with them. We're going to be playing with them as well. Today we're going to be playing on PC and seeing what Slivarito all does on his stream. So yeah, but before that, actually, let's get into a little bit of housekeeping before we get started, which we most of the time do at the start of the stream. Spackle, what's up? How are you doing? Strategic Boss, I saw you there as well. Sire Liv, oh my God,
your name usually just call him Sire.
Cap Navias, what's up, dude? How are you guys doing? All right, let's get down to house. Do you have any house that needs to be kept? Because if you have some housekeeping, we can add it on to the housekeeping segment. Let's go here. All right, so as we get started, there's not a lot today. Most of it is stuff that's been happening on this channel. Yesterday we had Warframe Fight Club, which you may have seen, which was absolutely amazing. It was our very first Frame Fighter tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The videos are live here on Twitch, but we also have them live on YouTube as well. Which you should be seeing right here. We just uploaded that. If you haven't been following our YouTube channel, we've just uploaded the entire 100 hours of Warframe. If you were following us on YouTube, I'm so sorry about that. Your sub feeds must be heard. That was 50 videos in one day, and before that, the 72-hour streams up as well. So, actually, we can watch your segments, Liv.
Oh yeah, I was in that. That's right.
Still remember that? Let's take a look.
Yeah. How, when was that, actually? I can't even
mid coffee in the middle of that.
That was in October.
Yeah, I was going to say almost a year ago, right?
Yeah, that's almost a year ago.
Ah!
Oh my God.
It's been a hot minute.
Look at you.
Oh,
You were looking sexy then. Like, you were all dressed up for that. My God.
Oh yeah, I was suited, that's right. I'll have to post that to my channel. I forgot about that totally. Yeah, I normally suit up on Mondays. Today's Sunday, so we're casual.
That's good. If you're suiting up on Sunday, something's definitely bad.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. So, actually, those are the two main things. We're having Tenor Talk next week again. Maybe a Warframe Fan Channel Spotlight next week. We'll keep you updated, but there's more content going to be out on this channel, so keep an eye out on that. We have a Twitter, we have a YouTube, and we have a Twitch. Make sure you check out all of those for your latest news of the Warframe community. And my headphone wire is getting stuck every single time. All right, well let's head back to Sliv, because as the title says, it's all about dude. It's all about you, dude. How are you doing? And actually, let's dive into the suit immediately. Like, when did you start with that? Like, that's the very first time I saw you. Like, really, like was in this stream. You joined in, and it was like, people were like, dude, Sliv's gonna be on. It's like, oh my God, I need to watch this guy. And like, you were all suited up with that sexy voice, like, dude, who is this guy? Is that how you started?
Well, no, I started originally, I just originally wanted to stream Warframe just because I wanted to stream Warframe, and I've been playing the game since it came out. And I started back in my old place where I didn't really have good internet. I had like less than 1 up as my speed. So my stream quality was questionable at best. And I did endurance runs, which was interesting. And also not that interesting. And it was like no cam, like my old like snowball mic, and just like really low quality endurance runs, which was pretty funny. But then once I moved to a new place where I had better internet, I upgraded my quality as well. I got my old recording mic back out, started using that instead. And I think I'm a little loud, it seems.
Yeah, I turned you down a bit.
Cool. Okay, good. But yeah, that's mostly it. And then I think I just turned on cam one day, just because like why not? And I had a suit on that day. I think I did that intentionally. I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna wear a suit. I'm gonna turn on cam at some point during stream, which we did. And Yeah, and I just started making a tradition of wearing a suit one day a week. It's always Mondays. Because Mondays suck enough, so you might as well wear a suit.
I love that attitude because absolutely, like you know, it's so classy. Like there is no one with such high class streaming Warframe. So actually, let's just use it as a cue to jump into Warframe right here. There.
I'm done.
So as you can see, we're both in Warframe. Your main platform is PC. Do you play any other platforms as well? Or just
I do
PC?
not. I don't have any other consoles, but I play a lot of PC. I think I'm at... Oh, Lord. Let me find out. I'm at a fair amount of time on the PC platform. Almost 3,100 hours.
Wow,
In game.
that is insane.
Been playing for a hot minute, so yeah, I pretty much just play this all the time.
All right, so now what is it that you mostly do on your stream? What are we going to be doing today?
I mostly generally tend to go... Hey, Speck. I tend to go through the dailies, so I have to go through like sorties, and then I usually do Kuba floods as they pop up. A lot of times I will do my sortie and then Kuba flood, and then in between those I will just do like PvP, or I'll do just like extra Kuba runs, or I might do... it kind of depends. I'll do events if they're going on. I don't tend to run relics too much, which is kind of not consistent with a lot of other people who play the game. I think I'm just at the point where I don't really need anything from relics, and that's kind of why. So I just kind of play whatever. And then I basically just try and roll ribbons. And I have a lot of stupid ribbons, and we play with those a lot. And also formal weapons. I think I've full formatted everything in the game to a point that it has a full build, including with prime mods. We just got prime charged shell, so I'll be leveling shotguns. But other than that, yeah, I think I've got like around like 1,400 to 1,500 forma in like
That is insane.
So I'm usually leveling something. That includes like garbage weapons. Like I've got some like, I don't know, I've got like dual ethers and stuff like that. I need to level those again. That's right. So yeah, that's like most of what I do. It's just like I run a lot of subpar weapons and make them work.
All right, so I got my Phantasm that I got it rank up, which is going to
Nice.
be the thing that I'm going to be working on. But aside from that, I got my Animus, I got my Sinister, I got my Oberon, which are the frames that I love. Now, before we get into why you don't run relics, it's like what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like test you on that. I just want to say that we have a public squad. I already saw someone join. If you guys want to join in, feel free to. There's an IGN command, exclamation mark IGN should work. So it's full of good Warframe. Well, let's talk about that. So you want to start out with sorties?
Yeah, I haven't done those yet. So
All right. So that means that I've got to start and commit a painful sin, probably in your book, also in my book, because I'm one ribbon over, so I can't do sorties. So I'm gonna have to
that's
delete
awful.
one. Yeah, Warframe
no.
gave me one. I was like perfectly on the limit, and then they gave me one. They were like, "All right, now you're not." Like I could spend plat, but that's kind of
But
against my values.
it's frustrating too because I'd love to play with like more kind of silly ribbons and have like more meme ribbons and like things like that. But unfortunately, there's just so many good ribbons that take priority slots that it's hard for me to not go for those and take those. So also the alt helmet for Revenant just popped up on alert if anybody needs it.
Ooh, actually, let's jump in that.
Yeah.
Let's jump in
Let's do
that.
that.
You know what? I'm just gonna purchase the Riven mod slots because I cannot take it.
I've been at max for so long, and every time I have to like, I do like a ribbon cleaning, and I get rid of the 4 so I can make rotations and re-rolls. But then I always end up filling up again, like very quickly.
So, guys, if you want to join into the squad, my IGN is a glorious beat. Just jump in and say hi. I want to join it. But let's go in here, and then let's start at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like waiting for this timer to run out so that we can symbolically enter Sliv's Pass. So when did you join Warframe? With like 3,000 hours in it. Back in the day, if you had 3,000, we could say like you started at the beta, but right now, it can be any time.
That is true. I did start in the beta. I started in the closed beta.
Yes.
It was a game that I didn't enjoy that much in the closed beta because it definitely wasn't. It had its rough edges for sure.
Yes.
I also had a really crappy computer and like could not run it at the time, so it was it wasn't quite as, easy for me to run at the time. But I was interested in it. I came back into it with I think I came back into the game with Parkour 2.0 or around that time, just to check it out again. And then I just literally did not stop playing it, just every day since then.
So, did you then also experience with your crappy computer? Because I had the same kind of thing. That it was so like laggy that it was like kind of like stop motion Warframe.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was just like I am watching a really cool looking slideshow, but
I started with that, and then I got a new computer, and I was like, it was like a revelation. Like, this thing can run smooth. This thing can run smooth. It was
right. Yeah, this game is actually well optimized. What?
But you came back with Parkour 2.0. How big was that shock for like the change?
I think I hadn't actually gotten as into the actual, what do you call it? Like I hadn't been as familiar with the other parts until like I came back. So it wasn't as much of a shock as it was for a lot of people when they had to actually transition to Parkour 2.0. But it was definitely weird. I was like, this isn't the same game. Like this game is not even close to the same as when I started. I don't need to mod my abilities with cards. I don't need to like. There's just so many other things.
Oh yeah. Did you see the skill tree system? Where you wanted the few?
Oh, the old one, or is there like
the very old one before the mod system?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got a real old timer here.
Yeah, that was. Whew. I remember looking at it and having no idea what any of it meant too. So.
Oh.
I was like, what am I even looking at?
Speaking of,
yeah.
Well, okay, so what is your most like looking back? Your most your biggest noob fault that you're like you look back, you're like, oh my god, that I didn't see that. I got mine, but I'll tell mine after you.
Okay, I've got mine. It's I remember using my starter plat on revives, just so I could play the game more. Yep, I used all my plat on revives back in the day.
Well, mine was that I was playing the game for a couple of months, and then my cousin came over and he said, "Why are you not using your abilities?" And I literally said, "What are abilities?"
Well, when you started, it literally just like dropped you in a white room, like a test room, and it was just like, here's what the buttons do, and have fun. Here's the game, bye. And so you had no idea. There was no like tutorial on anything. It was like, here's how you shoot. Here's what your weapons look like, and okay, bye.
How real man grew up, right? But it was kind of like Assassin's Creed at the same around that time. Didn't it?
Yeah.
So, it wasn't all that bad. But then, okay, so you came back around Parkour 2.0, and then what made you decide to pick it up, play it on stream? To go streaming on Twitch?
It was basically like, I play this game constantly, why not stream it and see if anybody wants to see what I'm doing? Like, there was no real, great revelation for me where I'm like, I should share and create my content. It was mostly just like, I've played this game for literally years and years. Why not just show off what I do if people want to see it? And here we are. That's what I do.
So how long ago was that?
You know, I don't know. I think it would have been probably getting closer to 2 years now. Probably like a year and a half. I think I started I started streaming like more consistently full time in like May.
Alright, you cut out there, but I think you're back.
Oh yeah.
In May.
Yeah, I think that's when I started like streaming more full time, and then but I had started streaming before that, like around probably say in the winter of the year before that. So yeah, probably about like 2 years ago is when I like started kind of playing with streaming.
So do you have any idea of what you were doing back then, or like when did that start to form? When did you start to like feel like you were building your audience? You had an idea of what you were doing, and then ultimately became Warframe partnered. How did that go? I know that's a really broad question.
Let me think. I'm thinking about that. I was definitely. I think it was when I think I switched off endurance and I started running just more like regular missions. I'm trying to think of like what I was really doing during that time. I think I was just basically just streaming whatever I wanted to stream in Warframe, and then people just started showing up more, and it helped a lot because I'd worked or played with a lot of Warframe partners from a long time ago. So a lot of them kind of knew my name starting up. They were like, "Hey, I know who that is." So just having kind of like the connections beforehand.
What did you play with? Do you have some names?
I played with Animated Break when he started.
Oh yes, yeah, I know him.
Yep, I played around the time. I'm trying to think. I played when Great started, like pre-camera, like MR14 or so on Draco, something like that. Yeah. Daniel when he started as well, Bear for a while, quite a few people like that. So, like those are people I kind of like played with or like discussed things in the game with way back, and then yeah, went from there. Eventually started streaming. So I was fairly known when I started, luckily by pretty much everybody, which made it easy.
That's really cool, dude. All right, so now that we're kind of caught up to like how you started, let's talk about how dare you not run relic missions. No, what's your educated reasoning for not running relic missions?
Yeah, okay, so I don't, my reasoning behind these, which is funny because it always does kind of tell people, but you're like, why don't you run relics? I'm like, so I don't need anything from relics is kind of my problem, I guess. If I farm stuff, I end up just giving it away, and then, which is fine, because that's fine. And then I don't really trade much, because the trading market has changed heavily to ribbons, and I'm not a big fan of ribbon trading. Mostly just because I think it's a lot of people trying to rip each other off in a lot of ways. So I tend to skip that, but yeah, there's like nothing I really need from them. I don't really need the plat. I have enough plat and enough stuff saved up that I can like make more plat if I ever need to. He's getting that one. Yeah, that's it, basically. I don't mind them though. Sometimes I run them. I usually run them with other people, and that's kind of like where my stockpile comes from.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense, because it's like you're not making it easy on yourself. Like I think relic missions are super easy, because like if I don't know what to do, it's like relic missions.
Right.
I can always use the prime parts. Turn them into ducats.
Yeah, it's always a good resource, like time investment. I think they're always like worth doing. I just guess like for me, I don't really have as much use for them. So I was like, You're on the sensors now. Which I know it definitely gets to a lot of people. They're just like, you don't run relics at all. I'm like, I know. Yep.
But how do you keep going on sorties then? Because I noticed for me that they were tiring me out. Is it purely ribbons?
It's generally ribbons. Sorties is generally ribbons, or just like they're fairly quick. I don't really find sorties aren't terribly difficult either, so they're pretty easy to like casually run. As far as like, I guess like the other thing too is like the things that would interest me the most in relic runs would be either the really fast stuff like captures and just abusing speed in that, or like really long endurance runs. But I don't really do endurance anymore because it's just too much of a time investment.
It is. Hold on, let's see what his next mission is.
Got a rescue.
A rescue.
And then a survival.
Oh, it's survival, and me lucky.
You even switch to Revenant.
Switching to Revenant. Coming up to the all-time original question: what's your favorite Warframe?
Mesa.
Ooh, good choice.
I'm a press 4 to spin around and shoot things person. I play like the really fast, like kind of drive-by aerial Mesa build, which is a lot of fun. My most used lately though has probably been like Korra, Nasia, and probably Volt. Volt is a really like common standby frame to me to go to. Just range Volt is just so consistent.
You use range fold? You're not using shield fold?
Nope.
Shield fold is so good.
Shield Volt is good. I do run Riot Shield Volt specifically with Cyanoid Gamma Core because that is one of the most disgusting combinations. It's also really good with the Angstrom because the shield prevents self-damage. So it allows you to Yeah, it allows you to get that bonus crit damage shooting through the shield. It allows you to avoid taking over like 100,000 damage of blast immediately. So,
I mean, Fold is so good if you know how to
he's-
use him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fantastic frame. Extremely underrated.
Yeah. I remember their Excalibur rework, and everyone was like, nope, no one's going to pick anyone anymore. It's just going to be Excalibur. Because he was really
Yeah.
good when they reworked him.
Yes.
My God.
Yeah, Excal's rework was very good. Volt's rework was really good. Mag's rework is incredible. I'm trying to think of like what else really. I mean, I pretty much play everything. I mean, my most played are definitely like Volt, Mesa, Loki, and maybe like Trinity. But I pretty much play everything at this point. I play a lot of Korra lately. Oh my gosh, Korra's so good.
The Grineer have no honor.
Are you liking Revenant, by the way?
Thank you. Yeah,
Is he down?
it's in a really good place right now.
How are you liking him right now, though? You think he's good?
Right now he's very good. I know a lot of people have complained about the energy drain on his 4 after they increased it because before they buffed the rest of his abilities. I don't think it's substantial enough to really be a problem. Adding recast to Mesmer is huge. Being able to apply Mesmer to allies is huge. He's kind of like a pseudo support DPS. You can also run like speed related builds and basically be an old Ember and just run through maps and kill everything, which is great. It totally depends though. Like he fits a lot of playstyles. I think he's actually quite good right now.
Now, you would describe your playstyle as more press for the win, right? Or not?
I feel like it's kind of funny because like I go back and forth. Like Mesa's obviously like a press for to win frame, but I also really like using guns. Ever since I kind of started doing Conclave more, it got me more into gunplay in this game, like more heavily, and like learning how to get good with accuracy weapons. Like my second most used weapon is the Rubico, and then my third most used weapon is an Opticor, and then it's the 2 Cybruses. So.
Then you must be excited for Chroma Prime access.
Oh, I'm very, very excited for Chrome Prime. Chrome Prime's gonna be good. That's fine. What was I gonna say about Chrome Prime? Yeah, he's gonna be good. He's got Rubico Prime coming. That's what I'm very excited about. I've got a stupid Rubico Ribbon.
What do you have on it? What do you have on it?
Let me try and remember. I think it's a damage, impact, and something else. Crit damage.
Oh.
Yeah, damage, impact, crit damage. No negative, unfortunately, but it does have 100 rolls, so we'll get to that again eventually one day.
There we go. How dare I fill that one?
It's having a few FPS issues, so I'm trying to work around that. I'm at about 15 FPS.
15!
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it's because we talked about stop motion Warframe. It's like, oh, I need to be back.
Yeah, basically, yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's back. It's back in the flesh. Yeah, let me link it actually. It is. Oh. Everything is being slow. There we go.
Now, what made you get into Conclave? Because it's not a very popular or big mode. I've tried it before. I tried it today. It's still hard for me. But how did you get into that? Like, seriously.
Conclave, I got into... Oh, interesting. My ratio is off. Yeah, Conclave I got into... I think I tried originally. Hated it because I got destroyed. And then I got into it from watching Ebtides a bit more. And a few other streamers or people who play Conclave. And it just kind of got me interested in like learning about Conclave and like learning how to play it.
It seems you're is that in your OBS?
Things happening.
I was just
something is yeah, my ratio totally messed up out of nowhere.
I think it did.
Oh, no.
Can you see what it's in your OBS? Because it could also
Yeah, I can see it's like half a screen. Yeah, okay, I think that's Alt F4 actually. Yeah, I was frozen in a screen too. All right. 1 second. That was interesting. It like switched Warframe to full screen mode.
Ooh, Captain Officer, we're gonna ask that question. All right. I'm. I'll just wait for you to start up, and then we can like go into the last of the sortie. So actually, Epside just influenced you into getting into Conclave.
Yeah, definitely. He got me kind of like interested in checking it out because he showed like a much like less toxic and much more interesting side of Conclave that involved a lot of skill. And I've always kind of been interested in learning how to actually play like shooting related games and getting at least reasonable at them. And Warframe kind of just made sense because I love the parkour system. And I think Conclave actually has massive potential as a PvP mode because the parkour is so unique. Like no other game has a parkour that's similar to Warframe.
All right, so try to explain this to me because like I tried it today again for another stream, and I was like, I'll be going to Conclave again, and one of my biggest issues is that like I come in and it's like because everyone jumps around, I can't hit anyone. And it's like, how do you get in that, and where did you find like what's the best tactic in that? And, you know, it's a big question. Feel free to like interpret that. And go with
it. So basically, what happens is you save, and you get absolutely destroyed once you get it. Well, so you start Conclave. There's a thing called recruit conditioning. You start kind of with everybody who's in recruit conditioning, so you're starting with like basic, like newer players. After recruit happens, which you can, and then there's no actual like MMR or general game based like experience rating, and so that means you end up getting matched up with people who have like 80,000 kills in Conclave, so you just get trashed. And it's my interesting. My settings reset. Wow. Okay, that's weird. All right. So you end up getting matched with people who just like absolutely dumpster you, and then you just end up hating life because you're like, why am I even playing this game mode? And then it took me about, I would say, until about my first 1,000 kills, or probably until about probably like a good 30, 40 hours into Conclave before I got to the point where I could like actually maybe get like in the middle of the pack in a lobby. And it's a very like kind of humbling experience, which I kind of enjoyed. That it was like, this is something that I have like, at that point I had like 4,000 hours in the game or something like that on Steam. And then I was like, this is something that I'm not good at. This is kind of fun. Like I kind of enjoy the fact that I'm not good at this, because it gives me something to improve on. I think that's kind of why I liked it too, because it forced me to take like my ability and understanding of parkour to apply it to a new scenario and like to improve on that.
So what is like what are your best weapons and frame? Like what's your best loadout right now in Conclave?
So I think I've got everything fixed. Let me see. I got my favorite right now is, as always, I just run Mesa. I don't use abilities. That's the other thing too, is there's kind of a set of the community that like they play with weapons that aren't like super cheesy. They play with frames, they don't use abilities, or maybe like only once in a while. And the idea is that it's more focused around being really good at the parkour and then getting really good at aiming, and that's basically what it turns into. So I use Mesa and Rubico. That's it. I snipe pretty much everything. And Daiku. That's the other thing.
So would you say that like the snipe one shot, one kill hitting weapons are better to take on than like the beam weapons?
Like currently there you can definitely cheese. There's a decent amount of cheese. I think I'm back. With stuff
Is
like
your OBS back? Because I'm not... yeah, I'm seeing it. There we go. Yep, we're back.
With like Ignis, a lot of people run Ignis in a very, very bright energy color and basically just blind people so you can't even see them to shoot at them. It's very frustrating. You can run weapons like that. You can run like Arcoplasmor. You can run stuff to those things that are pretty good. Although you'll find that when you're fighting the really good players, you're going to start running into troubles of them just killing you with hit scan from range. So you also just have to get good at hit scan from range, and that's what they end up doing.
So now, what's the biggest hurdle with like parkour and aiming, like getting that skill down?
You're definitely aiming. Captain's aware of the Ignis and in Conclave. It's garbage. I hate it.
I think I ran the Ignis today. I'm sorry, but I was like, I'm not hitting anyone. I'm just gonna like spray and pray.
Right. The range is definitely lower. I just like to use it basically as a vehicle to improve my ability to aim. Is essentially what it comes down to, and my ability to aim while parkouring. As far as like what's good to start with, it's probably good to start with something like, if you want to get into Conclave and you don't want to use like beam weapons and cheese people, is take like maybe like this is interesting too. Is weapons are balanced around their base stats and in Conclave with their own set of mods. So you can't like bring in ribbons and just dumpster people, which is great. But like MK1 weapons are really good. Like MK1 Bratton, MK1 Bow, like those weapons are exceptionally good in Conclave.
How did you receive that? Like how did you feel about that? Because that was one of the things that kind of put me off about Conclave, which like I understood the balancing things, but it was so frustrating that in Warframe I would have my Tigress Prime, which I like max format. I worked really hard to get, and then all of a sudden I'd shoot it out against someone who had a Mark 1 Bratton, and I would like stand in front of him and I'd be like, alright, if I shoot him once, he's gonna be down. Like, I can take these shots, and he'd kill me. And I was like, but I have my powerful weapon I worked for! And it was like so frustrating, because it was like, I had no idea what was going on anymore. It felt so weird. How did you accept that? Well, like, how was that for you?
Yeah, it is definitely, it is kind of disempowering in a way, for sure. That it's just like all this stuff that you've been grinding for hundreds and hundreds of hours, it's now no longer, it's relevant, but nowhere near as relevant as you think it is, right? Like, you can't go in there and just like spam all your abilities and like one-shot everybody with anything. You have to like, it ends up, it changes the way you play the weapons a lot. And I kind of liked that, I guess, because I've just played the game for so long at this point. I'm just kind of like, I enjoy having to do something new. Also, I'm still on the loading screen on mine.
I see it. It's just a little bit of stream delay. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, actually, I'm not even in mission yet.
Cap Novi says, I remember first day Korra in Conclave. I saw Fenari in Conclave today. I was like, what is that?
So day one, Korra, Venari would one-shot you. Like, straight up, basically. Like, people would just run Korra, Venari would just go AFK, like, kill people. And you could just run around and just spam whip and just, like, smack people down. It was awful. It was really bad. She's been adjusted since. Yeah, it was not good.
Oh my god. The Limbo who doesn't know what he's doing. Totally not me.
This guy learned a bit more about Limbo and Conclave. Limbo can be a little tilting in Conclave, mostly not the way that he was playing it, but people will sometimes take Limbo and Conclave and they'll take a one-shot weapon similar to like Snipetron, and then they will go into the rift and they will just stay in the rift, and that's it. And then so you have to chase them into the rift, and when you enter and exit the rift in Conclave, you lose all your shields. So what they do is they just force you to enter the rift, and then the second you enter the rift, they already know where you're going to be going in from, and they just shoot you and one-tap you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Actually, like, Limbo is really powerful that way.
Yeah. Oh, he is, for sure. I'm still in a loading screen, so I think I need to restart again.
Oh, they're still on this loading screen.
Yep.
Alright, see if when you restart, like, you have, like, 2 minutes, you might be able to... like, jump back in our mission.
Yeah, I think something weird happened. Something weird happened when I, like... I don't know, I think I alt-tabbed at one point and then, like, set my game to full screen and messed with my textures. It was weird. I've never seen that.
Ooh, I went down. I've never seen that, too. Actually, I did. Alright,
I've never seen myself go down.
Alright, maybe it's because we're talking about Conclave. I saw a very important... question in chat, and I want to bring it up, guys. If you have any questions for Sliv, make sure you put them in chat. But this one was about let's see. Cap Novi's asked, was Sliv ever a raider?
Yes, I was a raider. I used to run with Captain and a few others. And I think I also ran, I mean, the main group I ran with was like Pika and a few others.
Life support activated.
And I did do some speed walking, which was a lot of fun. I think my best LOR time was 11:24 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'd have to double check my command. 1 second, I think I'm connecting in. And I'll just put this back on.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
You have the time on command?
I can just go to trials and see what my time was.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I
of
still
course.
have all the records. Hey, we're back in.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
And my FPS is, well, it's like 5 better. We're getting there.
Oh, there we go. That's...
My best LOR time was 11:25, and my best nightmare LOR was 11:49.
Oh,
And my best JB was 17:51.
I see Captain Offy's put it in the chat. 11:25
Oh,
with
thank
End
you.
Space and Pink Guy.
Yep. Yeah, I did it with Pink Guy. Pink Guy definitely carried on my Nova. It's very, very good. But I would say I could hold my own. But I ran like non-Pink Guy raids, and I think my non I just call them non-Pink Guy raids, like dicked raids was I think I was to like 11. I think we went to like 11:32 at one point or something like that. We were like almost sub 30 second, 11:30. So.
Transference still holding.
So were you quick to get into raids,
Support
or did it take a while?
Raids. So I'm trying to think of like when I started raids. I started them a long time ago and I had a basic understanding of them, and then I didn't speedrun them until a lot later. So I had everything that I needed. Like I was MR25 and had played the game for years and years. So at that point it was like fairly easy to get into raids for like the speedrunning side of it. But I used to run, my main thing that I'd run for the raids was Volt, so that might
Ooh.
explain some of my enjoyment of Volt as well.
Definitely.
We're running out of time.
Oh, let's find out.
Yep. Yeah, I gotcha.
Left sport. All right, I got it.
Okay.
So
The
not
other one too.
now with rates being gone, which is seriously, I think it's a terribly sad thing.
Yes. Because that was definitely something that I ran. That was part of like my daily routine. Was I'd run raids. That was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. Like the one thing that always stuck to me was the very first time like raids came out. I saw this video by Mogamu, and he was playing with Rebecca and a bunch of people. Like, and they were
Yeah, I
doing
remember
this
the video.
thing, and it was like I was watching that, and I remember just feeling like, oh my god, this is like, I'm gone. Wait, hold on, I'm gone in my overlay.
Oh,
There we go, I'm
goodbye.
back. I was your gameplay. No, I remember like it was like, oh my god, this is like elite Warframe. It's like you gotta be really good and really organized to do this. I can't wait to try it. It felt like epic on a certain scale.
Right. Yeah. I'm coming.
So I remember feeling that. But that being gone, it's like it's sad. Do you expect Railjack to be in any way like a substitute to raids?
Yeah. So I've actually, I was of the opinion, and the sort of unpopular opinion, that I did agree that raids needed to be pulled in order to be made better. Although, not being given a time frame of when they would be made better was, I think, the largest point of contention for a lot of people, which I totally understand. Because basically being like, hey, that thing that you did that is like the whole reason why you play the game, we're getting rid of it. Also, no time frame on when we're getting it back. Like that got a lot of people frustrated, and I totally get that. I would be too if that was like the only thing I did in Warframe.
yeah.
100%. But it does mean I think that we can get better systems for raids later. And I think Railjack, and I said this like the second I saw it at TennoCon, I was like, Railjack looks like the perfect kind of Warframe raid because it involves multiple sets of like people paying attention to like different things, like all sorts of different elements in it. It doesn't look like you can just straight speedrun the entire thing, which, I mean, speedruns are fun, and you can still speedrun it, but, like, you can't just, like, cheese it with, like, 2 or 3 things. The potential for us to have raids that involve multiple ships and, like, one person, like, you know, like, one ship fighting off interceptors and, like, invaders and other people boarding, like, just the potential for Railjack to be what raids need to be in Warframe is very, very high.
I feel so too.
So that's what I'm very, very excited about.
It's like when you saw that like there were so many different aspects that people could be doing at the same time, like fly the ship.
Yes.
If you saw the command controls, like you have to flying the ship. That doesn't just mean flying it. It's like, okay, let's put it on tactical. Let's put it on command. Let's let's hack all the security systems. That's like all that console work about the ship. That's one role, as well as flying it. Then like defending the ship on the inside. Then you have like the boarding parties, the gunners. Oh my god, it's so cool.
Yeah, there's so much that not only does it look like something that can be done with a tactical group that will actually involve more coordination than the other raids did, other than speedrunning it. Like, cause like the basic raids that were in the game, the old trials were not hard.
No, they weren't.
They were button standing simulators, and that was kind of the problem with them, in my opinion.
They were hard to the extent like if you didn't know what to do, it was really hard. So
Yeah,
it was
to a
like
degree.
instructing people. Once they knew what they had to do, you run it. But like,
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was Jordas. I was like,
Yes.
that was hard. If you didn't know what to do, it was like you went in. It's like, oh my god, where to go, how to do it.
Jordas, I thought, was the better raid if it wasn't buggy, which it was. But like, it was the more interesting raid. It required you to have more gear too. Daily Pineapple. It was just one of those things where like, it felt like something that you actually had to kind of work for to get to do well. But it also, I think Railjack will be a good situation where like having better gear is actually going to make a huge difference because, like one of the raids I did at one point was we did a raid with we did a Nightmare LOR. We could only use our frame's first ability, and that was it. So we couldn't shoot our guns, we couldn't use operator, and we could only use our frame's first abilities, and we cleared it just fine.
Oh my god.
So like doing so, like the fact that you could do that with the raid implies that there's something that needs to be added.
Did you ever try Tenno only?
Yeah, we did Tenno only before as well. That one's pretty fun. I do enjoy that. There's a lot of really fun things that were kind of like you just had to like make silly parameters and enjoy the raids, which I thought was great. But yeah, I think the Warframe First Ability one was kind of like my favorite, just because it was really fun and actually required a lot of coordination, and also because it kind of sheds light on like what the issue was. So I think Railjack is going to be a good example of like how those issues could be addressed in a different form. I also am a big advocate of the fact that I think that Warframe has the best movement system of any game, period.
Oh yes.
And I think that needs to be focused on. I think we need more movement-based content.
I think that was the death of Arcwing/Sharkwing. Like Sharkwing, definitely, that was like you go and it's so slow. Then Arcwing, it's like the fact that going into literal space in a space game, but Space Ninjas never caught on. It's like I don't get it, but it's like it's just because Arcwing was so. Let's stick in this big open area, and you can only go so far and capture these towers.
Yeah,
oh, let's go.
I think Railjack. Yeah, Railjack I think is going to be the right approach to space. And I think the issue for us was we have very like samey mission types in Arcwing that we do in regular missions. So it's just like mobile defense, but now you have less mobility. And it's like, oh, okay. Nobody wants to do that. That's the problem. But like I think rush mode is an interesting idea if if it wasn't so tricky for a lot of people. Or like the assault mode where you like chase down a ship and like shoot down key parts and stuff like that. Like that's a pretty good use of Arcwing.
Theon says, "Hi, Sliv. Can't stay. Just popping by to say hi. Bye."
Hello, Adib.
What's up? Like rush mode. I think that was their second attempt at looking at it. By the way, what should we do? Want to run some Plixar? If that's
Yeah, sure. Let's run some Plexar. Let me. What? It's nighttime, right?
I'm not sure. Let me check. If it's nighttime, we can take that out a lot. Yes, it's
Yeah, we
nighttime.
can do some terrorless. Hey, okay. How much time do we have left?
I don't know how much time. I don't.
15 minutes.
I don't know why they don't include a timer right on there, because like we have it on sites, we have it on like Planes of Eidolon, clockofidelon.com or so. So it's like,
yeah,
they could just include it.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. If we optimized, we could do one, but we could just do a basic terrorless.
We can do the
do a
basic one, and then
it's a quick guy.
pop into Plague Star.
Yeah. What do you usually run for terrorlists? Full?
I just like if we're just doing terrorless, I just chill with my Oberon. I'll take my Lanka.
Sweet. Okay, sounds good.
Lanka's got some power, and Oberon kind of keeps people alive if they are not up to the task. And then just like my biggest killer is my Tenno, because I haven't really fully mixed up the Ostron yet, or like the Tenno ways, the quills. So my Tenno is not the strongest, but I trust you on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on like, I think last time I checked I was sitting on like 12,000 of like the large cores. I don't know. I'm pretty alright. I'm set. I'm almost finished with all focus schools. I think I've just got like one node left to be maxed, and I'm done with all the focus trees.
Captain Office, if you want to join, just message me, IGN, or find Sliv and see if you can join him, because like the match is set to public.
Yeah, he can hop on. He's in my list, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Now we'll just wait for you. Casual flex.
Casual flex.
Joyful Candy Cube. I just want something that gives a bunch of affinity. Oh yeah,
Probably that isn't ESO.
Yeah. What do you think of What do you think of ESO? The update.
Real
quick,
I like it.
Okay, you like it. Good.
Yeah, I do like ESO. I think there needs to be rewards beyond. I think the rewards that they have are a great idea, and they're almost exactly what they need. I think they need a season or like 1 to 2 month based reward pool based on how much, based on how many points or how far or based on how many points you accrued in ESO in that month. So like if you get to this number of points, then you get this reward, and have like exclusives that only come from those pools, kind of like old sorties. But
yeah, like actually that will be a good idea to keep it interesting, because it's like I really like the pacing of it. 2.5 minutes, sure. You're in a new situation. It's like constant killing, so nice. I just hated the implementation. It's like you couldn't give it a quest. You couldn't. You had to like take Korra's lore and be like, someone gave it to to Samaris.
Yeah, that was a little weird. The whole Korra, like I don't even think people know that Korra has lore. Like,
did you know she was the very first Warframe to come out without a quest since 2014?
Yes.
First Warframe in 4 years without a quest. It's like, it's painful, dude.
Oh wait, we're supposed to load up Plague Star.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
I'm in Cetus now.
Yeah, we're in Cetus. I'm just gonna load up Plague Star from Cetus, so then he can do Plague Star and we can do Terra Lust. But I did drop squad. So
I'll invite you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see.
I've got those equipped. We're good.
Oh.
Perfect. We should cancel this mission though and change it to what you call it?
Cancelled.
Yeah. Perfect. No. I think we're still all in here.
Sparkle.
Besides Spackle.
There we go.
Got it. I'll queue it up. Oh, there we go. Even better.
There we go. Perfect. Alright, let's go for the gate. Now, like, ESO like, solidifies my issue with Warframe now. It's like, Like Warframe's content is good, but the implementation is so bad. It's like
Yeah, I think that's it too. Like, there's some really good. I love a lot of elements of ESO, and that's a mode that I still defend pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people shit on it, and I'm like, really? I think it's great.
I only shit on SO. That's bad.
That's true. Yeah. I think you need to accept, by the way.
I do.
I'm not sure.
But
There we go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, ESO I think is great. I don't think it's. I think a lot of people thought it was going to replace Dark Sector and that it was also going to be end game content. I don't think it's either of those things, but I think it is good for what it is.
Well, taking that and then like, because I think most of the complaints come from people not having like being at the end of the game, having nothing to do. Seeing that you're at 1500 formas, you must have been there for a while. When did you hit like having everything, and that you were like, let's form everything up? Like, how long have you been going up?
I'm trying to think. I think that was kind of when I stopped doing endurance, and then I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with the game. I waypointed. I'll grab one lure and take it to them, and then if somebody wants to grab another one, it'll be good. Yeah, I think I just like didn't know what I wanted to do, and I kind of like just stopped playing for a little bit. I'd say like a couple months. And then I realized I was like, well, I could just make everything in the game usable and see how everything is. And basically what I did.
So, going over everything, like how hard is it to make like a Mark 1 Lado good? Or anything alike?
If you have a ribbon, not hard at all. If you don't have a ribbon, there's worse things.
What's the worst?
I think the worst weapon, in my opinion, is probably the Hind.
Oh.
I cannot stand the Hind. Not only it's just like everything a burst rifle shouldn't be. That's my biggest problem with it. I'm trying to think of like what if there's anything else that like particularly was worse. I'm just going to like scroll through the weapon list in my head really quickly.
You got that UI stored in memory?
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm just like rolling through all of them in my head, just like trying to think of which one I hated the most. Hind was one of the most painful to relevel. I feel like there was a pistol that I really didn't like leveling. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Sawyer says, I don't even know what a Hind is.
You're not missing out. It's the burst rifle that the Grenier use. It's the one that like it shoots 3 shots ish. It shoots 5, but yeah, that's the one that
Let me see, do I have it?
oh, I couldn't stand using that weapon.
Shit.
I'm gonna leave this lure here. If somebody wants to grab this, and I'm gonna go put in the things for captain really quickly.
I forgot mine. They're not in my gear. I was like, how is that possible?
It's all good. I got them.
All right, I got 2 lures as well.
Okay, and we'll just need to charge one of those lures before we kill. I'll put these in.
So it works. Let's go 10 at a time.
There we go. What was that?
There we go. No, we're finding him now. Let's see. I need some guys to charge him with. We need 1 charged.
Let me see if we can pull those 2 lures away from the terror list. I'll take whichever lures come to the terror list.
All right, I can put 2 ones here for you.
Okay. I think almost got this one.
All right, I got 2 for you there.
Sweet.
All right. It's funny how the conversation just went to straight gameplay.
Yeah, this is when the gameplay. I'm just looking for some bombs to charge this lure because we only need the 1 first. And there's that. I think it's 1 more.
So, aside from like the new content that just came out, how far are you for your entire arsenal for like forming everything up and having everything to like the build that you want it to be?
Done.
You're
besides some of the new stuff for shotguns, because we just got all the we just got charged shell, prime charge shell, and I'm putting it on a couple shotguns. So besides that, I've pretty much got it. And I've got one charged, so I'm gonna pop them.
all right, nice.
Yeah, these like, so I think besides maybe like 1 or 2 shotguns now, maybe like a melee weapon. I think just like this melee weapon, I'm good. I've formed everything to a max build.
Keep the Grineer at bay.
So what keeps you going?
Which is- I was actually I've been asked and asked myself this question a fair amount recently. I think I really like a lot of the systems in the game. I love the parkour. The variety of gameplay with weapons is also really good. And I think just overall, it's also just like a comfort game. It's something that I can easily pick up, and I have everything. I know how to do everything. I'm having some problems with my melee here. Hello? Okay. This is weird. There we go. It wasn't self-damaging me. That was weird.
Oh my god, when the melee doesn't damage you.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? What's this? Yeah, I think that's probably most of it. I also like playing with people. I do like the community. I think there's a lot of good in like the community. Yeah, and I like helping others learn the game too. That's the other thing, is I've kind of like leaned on teaching. More than anything else, probably.
Hold on.
We got a few minutes left on this. I should probably actually be paying attention.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
trying to kill
kinda-
this.
I was gonna focus on that too.
Here we go. I'll start blasting stuff. The FPS drops are a little rough too, but they're mostly okay. I'm just like, I'm wondering why it's so low lately. Whatever it did to my settings when it reset was a little weird, but we're okay. Here we go.
Everyone got no energy. Oh shit.
That's fine.
Here we go. Ah. Didn't time that float mode right. So how long does it take you for when like a new weapon drops, which sometimes we have like a big content drop, sometimes it takes like months. But when the new Warframe weapon drops, like how long does it take you to get everything? Like the recent one with Revenant, and we had the Sick Lock at the same time too, and the Phantasm. How long does it take you to get it all exactly as you want?
Not too long. Mostly though, I don't run Hydron. That's just a thing for me. I don't like leveling maps. So I tend to not do that at all. So it takes me a little bit longer than some people who just like will go to Hydron and just hard format it. But I'd say like a couple days, a week maybe, and then I generally get an idea. And then I usually wait for any hot fixes on Warframes to go through to see if I want to like change builds or anything like that. And then once I've got that, I'm pretty much done. But going into most weapons, I like essentially I know what I want when I'm looking at the weapon, and then I try it, and then I confirm or deny, and go from there.
Any particular weapons that recently came out that really took your liking?
The Phantasm is very good and very fun. It's not the most optimal weapon, but I enjoy it. So it's one of those things where it's like, this is not only a good weapon, but it's a fun weapon, and it's going to work for like most of what I use. So, some weird. There we go. I'm trying to think like what else in particular. I like the Zylok. I know a lot of people shit on it. I think it's good. It does the job of what I want it to do, essentially. Which is, but and I mean like it's got good base damages. It's comparable to the Lex. It's lower crit. It still works with crit. It's just one of those things. Like I think it's fun. I enjoy it. But I'm trying to think like what else came out. Honestly, I generally like weapons. There's very few weapons that I'll look at and be like, this is awful and I'm never going to use it. There's maybe like 2 or 3, and one of them is the Hind. And I'm trying to think of like what else. That's like most of it, honestly.
It's the Hind. It's just like the.
It's just no. It's it's everything wrong with every kind of weapon class. I think I brought Buff Rhino, or not Buff Rhino, but Buff Chroma. Yeah, I did. Cool. Like Team Buff Chroma.
Now, one thing, as we've talked about the game a lot, one thing that I do want to talk about is you're actually doing 2 jobs aside from streaming. How do you manage?
Sometimes I don't, which is when I don't stream. But yeah, it's busy. It's a very busy time for me right now too. But I guess it also comes, one thing that does help is the fact that I have played this game for so long that it doesn't take as much like paying attention as much, I suppose, or I'm not really like grinding for anything in particular. Also, I'd love it if this Hematite would
Open up.
Yeah, decide to do something. There we go. Just trying to like break the animation cycle so he swings. There we go. That's what I wanted. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to use a sniper on this. Not a Lanka. Not a full zoom Lanka. That's not gonna work.
I was trying that too. Sliv has got a lot of stamina. That's what they say in chat.
Yes.
So what do you do outside of streaming? What do you work?
So I'm in between semesters at school right now, so I'm not doing much school stuff. But I'm working. I work as a ropes course facilitator and outdoor educator, which means I basically groups come to our campgrounds and we teach them about science stuff related generally to like their school group, so around 5th, 6th grade. So we do a bunch of science stuff there, and then outside of that, I also do ropes course stuff, which involves like high ropes, like zip lines, rock walls, leaps of faith, giant swings, all that fun stuff. I facilitate that, and also like team building based stuff. So sometimes we'll get like companies that come out and bring people to like kind of help with group synergies and whatnot. And then I also work at a coffee shop. I'm like head barista and I'm also the head cook.
That is so cool. Have you told anyone that you're streaming Warframe? Did they know?
Some of them do, which is kind of fun.
Did they find out, or do you have to tell them?
I've told them, yeah, because they've asked like, what other stuff do you do? And I'm like, oh, I do this thing where I play games on the internet and people watch, basically.
Now, one of the things they could do. Oh well, no, go ahead. Do you have anything?
Oh no, that was it. Yeah, pretty much. And then outside of that, I'm just kind of saving up money right now to finish up my master's and then eventually my PhD in music theory and composition, and then I plan on teaching that full time.
Awesome. That's actually the perfect bridge to the thing that I wanted to get to, which is like Fortuna that's dropping, and this amazing thing that you're doing with Joey Zero.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about what's going on? The things that we heard down the hallways.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can share?
It still whispers in the wind. I know we've just been like really busy lately, like all of us, but we're trying to work on a partner cover of We All Live Together, and hopefully involving as many partners as possible. But we should be able to get that dialed in sooner. I'm back in contact with everybody and like discussing it a bit more, which is great.
That is so cool. When did that idea come to be? Like, how did that form?
That came about during TennoCon. We basically heard We All Live Together and essentially just like looked at each other and we're like, we need to cover this. Like, I was like, this is my jam. Like, I do music, specifically the kind of music I do a lot of is like folk or like indie or like acoustic, and then I also do like jazz, blues, progressive, a lot of stuff. But like most of my a lot of my experience does come to like that acoustic sort of stuff, and I think that'd be a great song to do in that kind of styling. So I might sing. I generally do singing that isn't really. I guess that is kind of what I do. Is like indie, but like we'll see what happens.
So as a non-music person, because like I don't have any musical talent at all. Tested and tried, don't have any. Maybe you know more than I do, but
maybe I don't know. We'll see.
How do you start? Like, if you have that song, how do you start? Where do you begin?
Like how do you?
Yeah, how
like,
do you start making a cover? Where do you go from there? It's like,
When you have something that's already laid out like that, it's fairly simple because it just depends on like how you want to recontextualize it, or if you want to stay true to the style, or if you want to change the style. For us, we're probably going to be trying. I'm assuming we're trying something that's fairly similar to the actual original stylings of it. So that's fairly simple. So we'll just take the parts that fit like the lead as a guitar and put them on guitar, and probably add bass. I've been hearing some banjo parts in my head that would match over it really well, so we'll probably do that. But essentially it just comes down to like recording all the separate parts and then seeing where you want to add like what to it, essentially.
So because like I remember you guys sitting on the Sunfest the day after TennoCon trying to match like chords to the song because
Yes.
you didn't have any sheet music.
Correct, yes.
Yes,
That's basically what we were doing is we're just trying to figure out like what key the song is in, and then like figure out what main chords there are for it, and like for that kind of stuff, that's kind of where the theory side comes in handy, because you can just say like, oh well, this is the root note because I can hear it and I know what that sounds like, and then because of that I know that these are the chords that can be used in that key because these chords correlate to this key. Obviously you can use any chord in any key, but like these are the ones that naturally go with it. Probably what they're using. And that's so from there we kind of like, and it's nice to have people to kind of peer discuss that with, because a lot of the chords had like, they would like add another note to the chord that's not normally in there. So we'd be talking about it, be like, hey, I think there's this note in the chord because I'm hearing this when I'm hearing the song, and then be like, oh yeah, there is. So we just go from there.
because that was so cool to see. How far are you
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
on that?
I mean, I think we've pretty much got like most of the tracks, like essentially like the basis of it done. We just kind of need to add the superfluous with like the additional stuff to it, and then voices, of course.
I'm so excited. I really hope that you guys can make that work because it's so
I think
cool.
it'd be a lot of fun.
It's like one of the coolest strings I've ever heard from TennoCon, and that includes Tenno Live. Like seriously.
Yeah, I think it'd just be cool to have something that like all the partners can kind of work on as well. They're like everyone's a part of, or at least a lot of people are a part of. Try to be as inclusive as possible in that. Oh, and you got your stuff. And I'm assuming Captain got his cores.
Yeah. We go in. There we go.
And we got Revenant parts. Does this always drop Revenant parts? Because I feel like I've gotten one every time.
I don't know. I haven't run that many. Because I've run I've run Plague Star when it was live first. Not a big fan of the event. I think like it lacks a lot, especially player agent.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like you have any effect because it's like there's just a timer. Okay, quick rant. Not
Okay.
supposed to be on here, but I'll do it because we run Plague Star. Quick rant. Okay. Basics of doing an event. This is scientifically. I've read scientific articles about game design and stuff like that. I know what I'm talking about, or at least I hope so. Number one, it's like if you want to do something that makes a player feel important, which is most of the time what you want to do because that's how you get them to return. First things first is you want to make sure that your actions have reason, like save the world, save the planet,
Right.
do this thing. You know, there has to be some cause behind it. There is no cause in here. You have a timer. 2 weeks, then it's gone. If no one does Plague Star, in 2 weeks it will be gone. If everyone does Plague Star, in 2 weeks it will still be gone. Doesn't matter. Why should you do it?
Yeah,
No one cares.
that makes sense. It's kind of like how the relay defenses have definitely been less important too, because I think this came about when Jupiter's relay was under attack. There was a discussion about it where people were saying, let's let it die, because if it dies, then it actually bugs the quest line. You cannot finish the new Strange because you need to go to a relay.
Yes.
Or you need to go to that relay or something like that. Like there's a thing where it's like, if you don't do this actually will break the game. It's like, so they just wanted to like test it to see. And the timer tick down, of course, and it's fine. So people have been kind of like just less active about events like that because they just feel there's no actual reason to do them because it doesn't actually matter.
I remember being in that forum thread too, and it was like, let every relay die, then let's see what DE does with barricades here.
Let's let them burn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's number one. But there's multiple sins in this one, okay? So, first of all, you don't have a good cause. Secondly, your second thing is you want player, like, you want to have player agency over the world. Like, your actions should be felt in the world. It should change the world around you. You need to have a good cause, and then your actions should change the world. Well, what do? You come into Plague Star, you attack the thing, you take 4... whatever they're called, Lephantis guys out, you kill them. The Plague Star still looks the exact same thing. It doesn't change. It's like, okay, did something. I don't know what, but we did something. You don't see any change at all. It's like, gone. That's sin number 2. Sin number 3 is that a game is only as good as it provides you with intrinsic rewards. So, if you don't know, you have intrinsic rewards and extrinsic rewards. Extrinsic rewards are like credits, mods, the rewards that you get from like the end of the mission. It's something that you just get outside of the activity. The intrinsic reward is a reward from doing the activity. Now, as we have no leaderboards, as we have no clan competition or anything, like, there is nothing in like being best in this activity. And the run itself is pretty damn simple and gets pretty damn boring very quickly. So it's like, it's not fun to do it. The only fun is in the rewards, but like rewards, as you say with credits, they get really boring really quickly. So it fails on 3 fronts. So it's like, it's so bad.
Yeah, I've noticed, I think a lot of what gets to people as far as like the in-game content for Warframe goes, as someone who's played a lot of Warframe, there's not much value in a lot of the challenges that people make that create endgame. And there's also not much that is provided in the actual like set of systems that really shows an endgame aptitude and like understanding of game mechanics. Because like for a while it was Trials, but even Trials didn't really show much for gameplay. You could be an MR2 Rhino and just run a full range stomp build and just stomp people and you'd be perfectly reasonable in a raid. So what we need then, or what people would like to see when it comes to like content related to this or like events or things like that, is either a leaderboard so you can see that your actions are adding to a system, where you're seeing feedback based on how well you're doing, rewards that are different based on how well you do or how many times you run it or things like that. Or also just like when we go to other situations where it comes to like endurance or to like speed runs or anything like that, getting more benefits as you go along. For like endurance especially, like scaling rewards is a big one for a lot of people. They kind of tried to do that with fissure missions, and I would say like fissure survival is basically the best reward ratio for your time that you can do, but for a lot of people they also just don't have the time to commit to that. So
it's all right. Actually, let me ask you a question, which kind of ties into that. If there's like one like if there's anything that you can change about Warframe, like one thing, whatever, like what's the ideal thing that you'd like to add, subtract, or change about this game?
The problem is, for me, there's a lot of really good things in Warframe, so it's hard. It's hard because there's so many things that are good, and I don't think I'd actually want to change many of the things that are in them, but I would like to see additions or improvements to a few things. I would like to see some, and this is where it's hard, and this is why I understand it hasn't been implemented, but something that is very difficult mechanically that we have to do. I would say most things that we currently have do not require much mechanical understanding of the game. You can jog through every mission at this point, and that's fine. But I would like to see some sort of mission type that like incentivizes very good and very fast parkour, a really good understanding of like how to mod your weapons well for damage, so much to the point that it's not like you're not just shooting like a meat sponge, but like you're shooting something that you have to like interact with using the game mechanics and also with being well modded. Kind of like a raid, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But like a raid that they have more time to implement.
Yeah.
Because the first raids were implemented essentially because the community was like, we'd like raids, and they just didn't really know what to do. So the raids that they made weren't as well implemented, and that's like completely understandable. But I would like to see maybe something like Railjack expanding into raids. That'd be huge.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to say you've seen Sliv for the past 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours. I don't know how long we've been on. I feel we've gone over the hour. But if you want to go follow him, definitely go over to, I think we have is, I'll just do like a caster. Hold on, I need to go use my other keyboard. Toss in a cast command in chat. Caster Slivarito. There we go, guys. Make sure you go check him out on Twitch. If you like what you saw this hour and you want to see more of him, go check him out. Drop him a follow. The Sliv, I want to say, dude, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for spending the time here. I hope you had fun. Is there anything you want to end the stream with?
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think like what else. It's pretty much it. I've been streaming a little bit more regularly again, which is nice. I'm probably going to start making some tutorial-based content, or at least some content maybe in a way that people haven't seen tutorial-based content. Some sort of like quick facts, like quick tidbit sort of related things. I'm also looking at potentially doing a series of modding videos called The Joy of Modding, where I just play Bob Ross essentially, and I show you how to mod as like full positivity and like calm modding style, because I think that'll be fun. But yeah, so there's some things I'm working on.
Ooh, nice. Let's see, can we let's see if we can find a YouTube channel.
I don't think I have one. I mean, I have like my normal one, but I need to like actually turn into a YouTube channel. I guess Twitch or just Discord is probably the best for now. I'll be around on Twitch, so.
I want to find it now. Guys, I kind of shipped you. Sire says. Searchability is not big. Let me know when you got that new channel. We'll link it right up.
I will.
I'll link it right up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you around. And go for the Sliv.